And we're live. Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge. I'm Anthony Irwin, as always, joined on this fine Thursday morning by Aaron Larsoul. Aaron is mere minutes away from driving out to Palm Springs.
Indeed.
And what's that?
Indeed, I said. Yes,
Oh, I
correct.
thought you were just about to say, like, no, actually, I'm hopping on a flight. I'm like, good Lord.
No. It would take longer to
Yeah, to
the
go
team
through
didn't
the
even.
airport.
Yeah,
And
no. The guys didn't even. The guys took a bus, so no.
do you like Palm Springs? Are you a Palm Springs guy?
So I used to be. It seems cool and it is fun, and we used to have a timeshare there. My family used to have a timeshare there, and so I liked. It was actually in Palm Desert, which is where the game is tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I liked in high school and then in college, I enjoyed going. And then I decided I want to when I would go with my family was fun, or I don't even remember why, but one of my girlfriends in college, I think we drove out there and stayed at the resort and went out to dinner and stuff was kind of fun. And then after that, I thought it was like, all right, Palm Springs is cool. I want to let's go out and have some fun, right? As I got a little older. It's not the place for that.
No,
it's not.
It's a very old city. Like the people.
Yeah, so
who
I've
live
heard
there
it
are very
described
old.
as and if we're live, but if we need to cut this, you can from the actual podcast. But I have heard it described as Palm Springs. Everyone in Palm Springs is either 80 gay or 80 and gay, and so for for a 20-something-year-old or a 30-something-year-old or now a 40-something-year-old guy going out looking to do my thing, that's not. Well, you know what? I've had a lot of fun at gay bars, so maybe
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
part's actually
say.
not. I have had a lot of fun at
I was
at
gonna
the
say I have two
Abbey, so
notes.
yeah,
Two
so I've
notes.
had a lot of fun there.
I have
So
not heard that. For one thing, I have not heard that Palm Springs described that way. I'm a big golfer, so I used to love going out
oh
there for golf.
yeah.
And yeah, like
I've
I've
definitely had
never
some
heard that.
really good drinking nights at gay bars. So
Yeah,
I'll put that aside. So, but there aren't a lot of places to go
yeah,
out in Palm Springs. So I'm actually gonna see if I can find one or two this evening. So, but it seems unlikely.
yeah.
So yeah, Palm Springs is fine. It's beautiful. It's nice. I think it's more of like a family thing. If I had kids or have kids one day, family and all of that, I think maybe it would be more fun.
I'm holding on to the dream that you one day have kids. I'm holding on to the
Are
dream.
you?
Yeah.
Can I get odds, or are we placing? Are there futures? Can I get a line on
No,
that?
I think the best bet is actually that you have a kid out there somewhere.
Not that I know of, brother. I think I know by now, right? Probably. Maybe not, actually. No, I don't think so. You know what? I'm going to tell. You know what's funny? Oh, God, I think my mom is probably.
This is way too many responses to it. Like usually it's like, no, I don't have any kids. But it's like, no, maybe.
I mean,
Probably.
no, I don't think so.
No.
Not that I know of. I don't think so. So, actually, you know what's funny is that same girlfriend that I had in college, when after school I went back to San Francisco, and we ended up obviously breaking up. So we broke up. This is probably in 2001 or something. And so she randomly, this was back when I was back in LA. So this is 2013 at the earliest. It was probably maybe 14 or 15 or something. She randomly, I don't use Facebook, but I have one. And she randomly sent me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm driving down to LA with my son."
Oh,
and
no.
Then, in parentheses, I'm sure I still have the message. In parentheses, 7 years old.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, okay, good. And it would be great. I hope you're well. It'd be great to see you. I'm like, well, first of all, I haven't talked to you in
7 years. No.
This was we broke it up like 12 years earlier, and I hadn't talked to her since. So so she made sure to put that piece of information, that crucial piece of information in. I
Man,
didn't
that's
respond to it because
tremendous.
I'm like no interest in that. Once I'm done, I'm done. Like I have no interest in. I'm not trying to be friends with any of my exes. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
If we break up, there's a reason we break up. I don't need more people to go to the Lakers games with. I don't need I don't need more friends to watch the Niners with. Like I'm good. So
You know
she
what?
put that piece of crucial information in there, so to maybe get a response from me, but it did not.
You never know.
The math didn't work, thankfully.
You you never know with this show where it is going to go and all of that stuff. I did not have illegitimate children on on the docket today. Start by talking about Palm Springs and finish with
It's funny that it's the same girl that in college we went to like go to the resort and hang out in Palm Springs. That was actually the only time
and from that magical night was born.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was in like 97 or 98.
Today though we are going to talk about James Harden. We are going to talk about the Lakers at some point in kind of a unique way. But I really do want to start with something. Look, I have been in a very good mood. The Lakers are good. We are going to talk about how the Lakers haven't given me anything to talk about. And it is absolutely delightful. I love that is the case. And so I've been like, there's been a bit of a void in things that I need to like rant and rave about. And I found it. I found the thing.
Okay. You like sort of briefly said something to me, but I don't know where you're going with this. So this will be good.
So I was looking at the jerseys that the Philadelphia 76ers just presented.
Did
you see
are
this?
Awful. Yeah, those are awful. Yeah,
they say
those are awful.
They say, let's see, 1, 2, 3 things on the front of their jersey. Do you know what you know what is not said on the front of the jersey?
Philly, Philadelphia, or 76ers.
You got Nike. You got the city of brotherly love, which is hilarious now, given everything that's going on with James Harden. Super lovely situation out there in Philly right now. And crypto.com. They have moneylaundering.com. There's just no mention of the Sixers, right? The Sixers, by the way, have stumbled into some like legitimately good alternate jerseys in during this run. Like
which do you mean?
They've had some that like, you know, that
you're into. You like some of them?
Yeah, like I think they had like a colony one, right? Where like it was like, you know, it threw it back to that. I thought that was kind of a cool concept. And like this is the thing. Occasionally, because Nike is Nike and they are capable of good ideas, there have been some legitimately great NBA jerseys during this run that have cycled through, right? The Miami Vice jerseys come to mind. Yeah. Both of them, the white and the black ones were incredible. The Mamba jerseys that hopefully, fingers crossed, and potentially might come back this year at some point. Those were really, really cool.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there have been some like great ideas here, but you know it hasn't been present throughout this run?
What's that?
Uniformity, which is the whole fucking point.
Is it though? Is it really?
It is.
Is it?
I should be able to, when I turn on a game, I should be able to know who is playing, where the game is taking place, like who that team is playing. Like and yet, like, there was a game last year between, I think it was like the Suns and the Spurs that was played in Phoenix, and I had no idea who was playing. There have been games where like the Pistons were like, and look, I like the teal stuff, and the teal would be a great idea.
The teal, the knight, the teal, the chess piece knight, yeah. Those are quality. I don't know what it has to do with Detroit or Pistons, but
yeah, they're like the jersey I associate with Grant Hill. Yeah. And again, great ideas. If they were like a regular alternate that like were just there. Once I feel like a team should be allowed to go to Nike and be like, hey, you nailed the alternate. We're good here. It's like the Lakers
they can.
Well,
they can. That's not the point, though. You understand? That's not the point.
Well, all right. This is all right. I knew that this was coming, and I know that the point is to sell more jerseys and to keep coming upon. How many people are going to buy this fucking city of brotherly love thing?
But that's a different question.
those
The
Dallas
question is not.
Mavericks
The
were
question is not how
graffiti.
many of the designs are good and are going to make people buy them. The question is how many of them are different to make people buy something different.
But
That's the point.
I
I know.
do
I
think
agree. It would be better if they were better. But
I
I mean,
do
I
think
agree. Like I like the jazz ones. You know, the jazz like the sunset ones. I think those are cool.
yeah, and
Um,
they brought back the purple jazz ones, and like, look, I'm fine with like a retro night or something like that. Retro is having a big thing because we've run out of ideas, and like I'm fine with that to a certain extent, right?
mhm.
Alternate jerseys, like one of my favorite nights of all time was the nickname jersey night. Like that was hilarious.
Oh right, I
I,
forgot about that.
yeah, like some of that stuff
Go
is
that they
fun.
taken after the XFL.
But the thing about like the thing about novelty jerseys and stuff like that is that like once you do there is a tangible limit on how often you can go to that well, because at this point why would anybody buy like the next alternate jersey, like
They do. The people do. I don't know why.
I
I'm
can't
not
imagine.
Jersey guy.
No,
I'm not
there's
into
no
it.
way.
Oh
There's
yeah,
no way. I'd have
the
to look at
Clippers
the
one is
numbers.
worse. The one
Huh?
that says Clips with like
Yeah.
in the most basic font with the little baby basketball dotting the I. That shit is terrible. That is
I started
hideous.
hearing clips in the background, and I was like, clips do the clips do not deserve to be associated in any way whatsoever with the Los Angeles Clips.
CLIPSE clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they should have sued. They should have been like, no. No. But like, but I
This
don't
does
know.
not include Pharrell. This is unacceptable.
Right. I look at what is going on here, and I do think it is a short term, short sighted gain, and actually negatively impacts the branding of these teams in the NBA at large. Because, like, again, for me, and this might
Mhm.
be this
This is
is
old man yelling at cloud, but go ahead.
yeah, I am very much old man. I'm literally about to go work on my yard and tell the kids to get the hell off of it. Actually, I'm having armadillo problems right now. So
That is a very Texas thing.
very
I guess.
Texas thing.
The
I
most Texas
posted
thing you've ever said here.
I posted there's like all right, so I was looking at you know from my back patio, I was looking down onto the yard and I was like, man, that is a lot of holes. Like what is going on there? So I posted on the community Facebook board like what is going on with my yard? And a whole slew of Texans were like, armadillo.
I bet community Facebook in
And they
Texas
were like,
is a
Are
wild
you supposed to be
experience.
here? Are
Right.
you
Yeah,
sure
this is a
that's your
wild
backyard?"
experience. I am sure. Yeah, you look white enough. You're all right. And you have a white enough name. You're good. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Like, I don't have a problem with them turning the jerseys over a bunch. That's
Mhm.
whatever. I get it. I have a problem that the designs just suck. That
Well,
like
they're
if the
gonna
designs
suck.
were good for the most part, then fine. And my other issue is not so much that like they turn them over. It's that when they find something that works, i.e., the jazz, you know, the sunset or sunrise or whatever they are, or
Not
as you
the
mentioned,
Zion ones, right? The orange ones? Or are you talking about the
no, I'm talking about the Utah Jazz,
yeah,
the
the
ones that
Zion
like
one.
the gradient, the Zion's not on.
Mount Zion.
Oh, Mount. I don't. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The ones that are like block, like red. They kind of have the gradient red,
Mhm.
or they're black and red and orange and yellow as it goes.
The
And
candy
the
canes.
court, they have the court to match, which is cool.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned
Oh, don't get me started on the courts.
you
Oof.
mentioned the Miami Vice ones, and there's other good ones around the league, or at least other ones that I think are good around the league. So my problem isn't that they keep changing them; it's that when you change them and find something that works, ride with it a while. So, and I think the sunset ones are coming, or sunrise, or Mount Zion, as you call them. I don't know if that's what they're called, but as you call them, those I think are coming back again this year. But like it is what it is. It's Nike paid a bunch of money to have the uniform contract specifically so they could sell jerseys, and the teams want to sell jerseys too. And something new, despite what us old guys might think, something new is generally appealing to people and is going to get people to spend money because they want the newest thing, they want the coolest thing, even if aesthetically it looks ridiculous or awful to you and I, and we're going to have difference of opinions on which ones look good and which ones don't.
Yeah.
I happen to agree with you that the brotherly love one is pretty awful. Um,
All right, that one's objective.
yeah, that one's objective. I mean, the worst one is the Utah Jazz one, the highlighter yellow, where just like in block letter says Jazz in black,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It's the
Those are
most Utah
horrific.
version of Jazz, right? Because like you think of Jazz like it's a smooth thing, and then people in Utah were like, we don't actually like
Yes.
Jazz.
When I think Jazz, I think Salt Lake City.
It is nothing.
You know,
but
I have
G.
not loved a lot of the Lakers efforts recently. I do like the Suns one. You were talking about the Suns. I do like the Suns new gear, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they should make it like the NFL, or like the NFL used to, where you had to hold on to something for a while, and they've changed it now, but you were only allowed one helmet per season.
Mm-hmm.
And you could change, although that like ran into the problems when the Rams first moved back from St. Louis. They were wearing like mismatched stuff for a couple years, which was absolutely absurd. They were wearing like the new Rams, not the new Rams helmet, but like the Rams helmets from LA that were like the royal blue with the yellow horns, and then like, the dark blue and gold St. Louis jerseys and like white. It was awful, but so maybe the NBA should do something like that. But I mean, I think, and the NFL has gotten away from that now. You're allowed more than one shell, it is called. But I think the ship has sailed on this, and like,
I'm fine with changing it up sometimes. I like the idea. You talk about like, you know, what is pleasant to the eyes and stuff like that. You know, it's pleasant to my eyes knowing who's playing. Like I like being able to turn on the game and not having to like scan and look. And, you know, there are times where like the court and the uniform don't match up. And it's just like, where are they playing? Are they on an aircraft carrier? Like, what is going on? I never know. And I do kind of think, you know, when you talk about like the nightly presentation of the league, this should be something that like, this shouldn't be that hard to mess up. This should, this should be hard to mess up. This shouldn't be that hard to get right. And being able to nail who is playing where and who they're playing, who's home and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know, like me. Yeah, I am old, but I don't think there's like younger generations here that like are opining for 73 different jerseys that they can own of their favorite team. You know, there can't be.
Okay.
And all we've done is turn you know, in some cases, like in the Lakers case, it's an international brand, and we're turning them into an AAU team where it's just like, yeah, what are we wearing this weekend? Oh, okay. Oh, the logo is going to be smaller than the sponsors. Oh, all right. Or there won't be a logo, and it's just going to be like, I don't understand what we're.
Look,
doing there. I know what they're trying to. I know what they're trying to accomplish. I know why this exists, right? You know, it's said right here by Grapes. I get it. It is consumerism. It is capitalism. But I do think, given the value of these brands, there is, you know, for the pennies that can be gained with releasing your 173rd jersey in 3 years, you are losing dollars by not being able to identify brand.
How do you think the brand is being diminished?
I don't think. I think it's harder for people, especially new people, subconsciously to buy into a new team or buy into their team when you don't know what they're wearing every day. And like, all right, I'm going to buy a jersey. Which one? I don't know.
Whichever one looks best.
Well, sure, yeah.
Whichever the one that I like the best.
All right,
you can still buy the old ones.
It's all right. Well, that's the other thing, though.
Ones.
They are classic. In the Lakers case,
updated version
banana
of the
yellow.
Like, yeah. I also don't like the purple. I don't like the black. I don't like the black
going down the side of it for some reason.
I don't like that. If it was just straight purple, it would be glorious. Those Magic ones, the purple ones with the pinstripes were horrific. Thanks, Magic.
They look like now and laters.
So I have a question, and I don't know the answer to this, but there was a thing, right? It used to be the Lakers were gold or yellow at home and purple on the road. And then, I mean, that now it could be purple at home. It could be gold on the road.
Whites on Sunday.
Yeah, but so that was going to be my question. When did that start? When did the Sunday whites thing start? Because that wasn't a thing in the 80s.
No, I think it was like a 2000s thing. Right.
And so now that feels like I can't imagine the Lakers not wearing the Sunday whites. So,
well, they don't wear them on Sundays now, though. They're just whites.
That's not true. They are still the Sunday whites.
No, they're just worn. They're worn on.
They are still the Sunday whites. I'm
They can't
telling
be
you,
Sunday whites if they're not worn on Sundays.
They wear them on Sundays. They are officially the Sunday whites.
Like Celtics fans all of a sudden have like a nice sentiment towards the Lakers on those. They're just like the Lakers whites. Celtics fans are like, what? I like those ones.
Stop it. Stop it. How does Celtics? I wonder. You know what? I'm not going to say anything. So what? My point though is like,
it's always funny to me when Utah has like whiteout Tuesdays. It's like that's just Tuesdays in Utah. It's not.
You know what? I'm not. I got to drive to Palm Springs, so I can't start drinking Hennessy this morning. But it is delicious. Even though I haven't had any, it is still delicious.
All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop yelling at clouds. We're gonna move on to the latest on the James Harden thing. Talk about like no brand awareness or super brand awareness. He knows what his brand is.
He's pretty committed to the brand.
Yeah. We are now getting updates every time that James Harden sits out practice, which probably is not a good look for the league. The league should probably do something and tell this guy, hey, you have a contract. Okay. You should probably you should abide your contract, James Harden.
How exactly are they going to do that?
The league can suspend a player for contract detrimental to the league.
Okay, good luck. Good luck with the Players Association. I mean they can.
It's at least worth broaching it at this point. But regardless,
no, they're going to leave that up to the league, and they should. They're going to leave that up to the team.
Yeah, big states' right guy, Adam Silver. But we are going to go with the latest reports here. Hilariously, Nick Wright first broke the news that the Clippers have balked at.
Oh yes, he was the first one that had the presumed trade package. Yes,
right. So according to Wright of Fox Sports, the Philadelphia 76ers are willing to trade James Harden to the Clippers for Terrence Mann, salary filler, 1 pick, and a pick swap. Which
a first round pick and a pick swap, correct?
Yeah, whatever you feel about James Harden is 50 cents on the dollar, right?
No, I think it's more than that, but yeah, I get your point. Yes, I would
not
say
dollar for dollar value.
No, yes, correct.
And the Clippers have apparently told the Philadelphia 76ers that Terrence Mann is not touchable in these discussions, that they are not willing to give up Terrence Mann. Which, Terrence Mann's a fine player. He's not young. He's like, what, 24? He's not.
No, I think he's older than that. But
he's not somebody who should be untouchable in a James Harden trade. And, we just saw this, right? I keep seeing Clippers fans because I'm like, I've been mocking the Clippers. I'm living in a great place right now as it pertains to the Clippers because I'm going to mock them right now for not trading for James Harden. And then when they do inevitably trade for James Harden, and when he does inevitably go full James Harden in the postseason, I'm going to mock him for that too. So yeah, I will fully admit to not being consistent on this front. But yeah, it is wild to me that Terrence Mann would get in the way of a player who would legitimately help them. They have had real creation problems during the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard era. James Harden would help with that. James Harden needs to be surrounded by stellar perimeter defense to make up for those times that he just stops carrying on that end.
And they have Russ.
They have plenty of that. You do have the Russell Westbrook thing.
Yeah, if you need perimeter defense, you got Russ.
Do you think Russ and James Harden would see the same squirrel and knock their heads together?
Look at that.
Whoop!
No. Because neither would be paying attention enough to off the ball. Neither would pay attention enough to make any effort to run into each other.
No, I mean that because Russ will have these plays where he'll like be in position and then all of a sudden just like sprint off in the wrong direction. And it
Oh yeah,
reminds
because
me
he's
of,
like chasing the ball going for a steal. Yeah, James is not
yeah.
even going to do that. And both of them are just going to like turn their head and be like, "Oh wait, I just got back cut," and then stand there.
James, I picture James like as that, like every family who has two dogs has like the hyper dog and the calm dog, right? And the hyper
If
dog
you
will
say
just,
so.
yeah, the hyper dog will just like sprint off for some reason. It's like families with multiple kids, right? Or in my case, Avery is the entertainer and Miles just laughs at his shadow. It works great for the two of them. They are legitimately hilarious with each other. And I just picture James Harden and Russell Westbrook sitting on the on the back porch, and as the dogs in this scenario, Russ chases the squirrel, and James is just like, "Oh, good luck, man, good luck." And neither of them were in position to from the get go. So
And
poor
neither is
Paul,
guarding the house.
yeah, yeah, they're guarding the wrong house. Like they're just and poor Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are like, trying to figure this out. The owners of yeah, I
In a
just
walking boot.
yeah, I I don't know. I don't think it's going to work out for them, but I do think James Harden at this price is a worthwhile, final swing for the fences. You're pot committed at this point. I don't understand. And I also don't understand coming off of the summer that Miami Heat fans just had and the Miami Heat had, where they overplayed their leverage all summer long, only to watch the guy that they wanted go to the team, a different team of their own. I just I don't understand what the Clippers are doing here.
So I have a little bit of a different take. I mean, and most of this is because I have a different opinion on Dame than I do of James and their place in the league and how good they still are. And James is still damn good. Like, let's be honest about this. James is still damn good, but James also has a history of this exact thing that we're seeing now with three teams in a row, in Houston, in Brooklyn, and now in Philly, where he chose each of those three destinations, and he has quit on all of them. So I think he has less value in that regard, and he's just not as good as Dame. And he's a free agent now. So I have a little bit of a difference of opinion. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, because I agree with you, right? This is the same thing about, if you're not willing, Miami, if you're not willing to include Jaime Jaquez, if that's the deal breaker, then you don't get Dame, right? Yeah. And so if Terrence Mann is off limits, okay, well, fine, you don't get James.
Yeah.
But I have more confidence in there not being a whole lot of other options in this scenario than I did in the Dame scenario, right? It was only like Miami was under the impression that they were the only ones involved. Okay.
Yeah. Which is fine until you're not.
Correct. But in this case, I think it is less likely that other teams really heavily get involved for James. And so if I'm the Clippers, I don't really want to bid against myself. You can have whatever opinion of Terrence Mann you have. Mine is maybe a little higher than yours, but not as high as the Clippers, clearly. I would trade Terrence Mann for him, but the Clippers aren't wanting to. And so I would, if that's their position, I wouldn't be willing to offer any more than I'm offering now. Especially because I didn't think, well, we saw the article came out, but I didn't think at the time that Dame was going to, and Dame didn't. Dame wanted to go back, right? If he couldn't go where he wanted to go, he wanted to go back. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that anybody has any faith that James will participate in any of this if he doesn't get traded. So I don't know. If I'm the Clippers, I say I don't really think, I'm more confident that we're the only suitor than I think Miami should have been. So if I'm the Clippers, I don't really think I'm inclined to give my best offer. If I'm Philly, I'm not inclined to take that bullshit the Clippers are offering. Right? Like that does nothing for me. Mm-hmm. And if I'm James, I think I'm probably doing this the exact same way. It works every time for him. I'm not showing up either. And I dare you, find me, right? I show up when I need to. oh, okay, my hamstring hurts. Oh, no, you know what? Once the real games start, I'll show up. I'll sit on the bench. My hamstring hurt. I'm not playing. And then every off day, you're going to see me
And
at
they
the
ask
club in
him, "How did
Vegas.
you
You're going to
hurt
see
your
me
hams? How did you hurt your hamstring, James? You haven't practiced all
working out.
year."
No, working out. No, I played in one scrimmage. I'm working out. I'm in.
Mhm.
I'll go. I would show up for every third or fourth practice. I would show up for games and sit on the bench. I would not fly with the team. I would go back to Vegas. I'd go back to Houston. I'd make a show of being out. And okay, Daryl Morey, you think this is getting you're comfortable being uncomfortable? Cool. Let's find out. I'll sit out. I'll sit out.
I'm really hoping that Philly matches that ugliness with ugliness. Fine him then. Cool.
How?
Fine.
If he comes to games and sits on the bench,
they can deem these excuses or they can deem these absences unexcused. Unless James,
he's not absent. He's going. He's there.
He
That's what I'm saying. That's the reports
key.
He has to go.
The reports are that he hasn't been with the team.
No, he hasn't.
Sunday.
No. You're right. That's what I'm saying. He has not been so far. Correct. Or since Sunday. He's played in one scrimmage. He's practiced once and played in one scrimmage. He's been around some, but he's only participated in one scrimmage. He hasn't participated in any of the preseason games. And as of Sunday, I think the report was he hasn't even been around at all. I believe that's what the report said.
Yeah.
Their last preseason game is tomorrow.
And he no-showed today, like right before you and I went live. Yeah. The reports are that he was
okay. We'll see if he said it was possible he would play Friday, but that was last week. We'll see. But what really matters is he shows up because he can't do this for 30 days because then they can up to them. They can make him not a free agent, right? So if he shows up for games
on the 29th day.
Yeah.
Every
my hamstring
days.
My hamstring hurts. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out. Y'all got it. And then when you guys go on the trip to Indiana and Cleveland and wherever on your 10-day, five game 10-day trip, I'll be in Houston and in Vegas at the clubs, and I will be very public about it, and you will see me. And then I'll pop back by Philly, come to a couple games, sit on the bench.
That's fine. That's all fine. And maybe
what I'm saying is I understand everybody's perspective in it.
You're all right. You're saying that,
and I'm not sure I would do anything different if I was any of the parties.
I would maybe do things somewhat different if I were James Harden because that's the end of his career. Clearly, the Clippers aren't willing to trade Terrence Mann for him. Terrence Mann is 27. I said he was 24 a second ago. He's 27.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's older than that. Yeah.
Also, it's funny. I Googled Terrence Mann and I spelt Terrence the wrong way. And there's apparently an actor named Terrence Mann who is 72 years old. He is not quite that old.
Different cat.
Big guy in the Critters series, apparently in the 80s.
Never heard of that, but does he have two N's in his last name also?
No.
You spelled Terrence wrong and Man wrong.
No. He has two N's. He has so I got the two N's correctly. I used he has two R's and an E in his first name. Terrence has one R and A in his first name. But regardless, though, I fine. All of what you're saying, fine. James can do whatever Jim can do whatever he wants. Jim Halpert Harden, however he wants to do it.
Okay.
The rest of the league is going to say, you know what, man?
I don't know that reference.
We're done. We're done here. We are like, they will. Why would anybody sign up for the James Harden experience? Like at anything more than the minimum? Like I don't want that guy.
Anything more than the minimum? Are you kidding me?
No, what team interested in winning wants that guy on it? Because he doesn't help you win playoff.
Well, the Clippers. Games. I mean, the Clippers clearly
not so much that they're not willing to trade 72-year-old actor from the Critters series.
Is that Terrence Mann? Is that Terrence Mann an older white gentleman?
Yes, it's Terrence Von Mann is an American theater, film, and television actor and baritone singer.
Okay, so you're right. They don't want that. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up the other Terrence Mann for that guy.
He is best known for his appearances on the Broadway
I bet the Clippers
stage,
would include him,
which include Chester Lyman and Barnum.
What is the? I wonder what the theater scene is like in Philadelphia. I would imagine it's pretty good, probably. I don't. I know. I just
Embiid
disagree
acts
with the
quite a
premise.
bit on the court, so I would say it's probably pretty good.
I disagree with that premise. Now, I think James would not. He's not going to love the contract offers in that case. I agree with that. Without showing he is still that guy on the court, I don't think he's going to get the kind of money yearly or long term years that he would like. But the idea that like James has to go play in China if he sits this year out and he's a headache, that he has to go like, what is the is it, I think it's Shaq, right? Where he was on Inside the NBA, and who he played for. They do the Shanghai Sharks thing meme.
Yeah.
Like, you better go learn Chinese, buddy. That is not, no. James got votes for all NBA last year and led the league in assists.
and then
probably should have been an all-star.
Promptly, you know why he wasn't an all-star? Because the league is sick of James Harden. I think the players are probably sick of this too. What team? All right. Also, how do you think James Harden's going to age? The guy like has his jersey retired in Houston strip clubs. Like, that guy is not focused on extending his career.
Yes, but he is that good. Not anymore. Now he's just, whatever, the 38th best player in the league or something like that. Fine.
And it's going to slip precipitously. And he's going to be a headache.
And the dude's a Hall of Famer. And this is not like Carmelo in the last days Hall of Famer. Top 75 he led the league in assists last year and should have been an all-star and got votes for all NBA. The dude can still hoop.
Yeah, and look, man, there have been instances here where, and I think this league is really moving in a direction where they aren't going to deal with stuff because he's not gonna help your young guys grow, right? So if you're a young team interested in developing youth, James isn't going to help there. He doesn't help you in playoff games. He helped he helped Philly. He helped Philly win one game last year, and then
he had. What are you talking about? He had 2 40-point games in the same series.
My bad. He had 2 whole playoff games, and then no shows.
He was not great the rest of the
shows.
He was
not great. Aaron,
he was not great. He was not great. He had some of his famous like 2 of 11.
How many series are won with 2 games?
You just said he doesn't. He's not going to help you win playoff games.
He can, if you're a 9 or a 10 seed, he can help you win 2 games and get into the playoffs. Then he's done.
This is so irritating to me. This because I fell for the okie doke. I fell for the okie doke the other day where I was like, I think it was Guru was talking about like that Austin is better than James. Austin is probably my favorite guy in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like personally, and I think he's damn good. And I have said I've been early on the train about how good Austin is, and have said so what I think he's going to average. Just last year, I said this year what I think he's going to average. And so like, but like the thought that Austin's better than James it's just not true. And
so I was rather have on your team though.
For what? Like it depends on the makeup of the team. Depends on the makeup of the team.
Same contract. Same contract. Those guys are available at the same contract. You could sign.
Depends on who else I have.
They're very similar players. I don't understand.
No, they are not. Stop it. No, they're not. Stop it.
Offensive guys with who do well with the ball in their hand, handle the pick and roll, knock
James
down
is
open
not.
shots.
No, James. See, this is what irritates me. Now I'm forced.
I'm just
saying, the last 15 minutes defending James Harden, which James Harden is my second least favorite player in the entire NBA.
This is you chose to stake out this ground, man.
Right behind Chris Paul.
This isn't First Things First or any of those shows or whatever. I'm not like sitting here telling you, hey man, do you mind taking the pro?
No, this is
did it
because what has happened like because James is so unlikable, and I agree. I just said he's my second least favorite player in the league. Chris Paul, I like Chris Paul less, but. And a lot of my NBA fandom, like put work stuff aside, put team stuff aside. A lot of my NBA fandom the last, 10 to 15 years has been like built around Chris Paul and James Harden never winning a title, right? Which I'm so excited that Milwaukee beat Phoenix. So I am no James Harden fan. However, I believe because he's so unlikable, both on the court, how he plays, and off the court, and because of all this drama he causes, which is fun, but like it's tiresome.
It's fun for us. It's not, I don't think, particularly fun for his
So I
teammates
think
right now.
that has caused a, because he's so unlikable and because we want him to lose, that has caused a like very like disingenuous recounting of how good he actually still is. I think the narrative about how he is on the court has gone way too far. Again,
Okay.
the dude should have been an all-star last season and got votes for all NBA.
I'll ask you again, on the Lakers, who would you rather have, Austin Reeves or James Harden?
On the Lakers, I would rather have Austin.
Okay. In what
I
scenario
don't know.
would you?
Although James shooting, although James doesn't want to shoot any catch and shoot jumpers. So
Also, I
I would
think
rather.
Austin's
I
going to be
mean,
really good as a catch and shoot. Like
I
he
think
is a
Austin.
very good catch and shoot.
I think Austin can shoot it, but not at the volume James can. I mean, like James is one of the all-time great three-point shooters.
Yeah. Okay.
But so I think probably Austin on the Lakers.
And then if
and
the
you're
Lakers,
saying same contract, right? Because that's where the like who's the better player? James is the better player. Who's the better value, like based on their contract? Austin has one of the best value contracts in the league, and James doesn't.
Okay, but like I'm just like, under what scenario would a team rather have James Harden? Also, and that's not even like counting
The Clippers would rather have James
than Austin Reeves.
Yes,
I flatly disagree.
Philly would rather have James.
Again,
So you're just telling me Austin's better? See, I hate this.
No,
you're
I'm
telling
not
me
saying
Austin's better than James.
I think James Harden is a more talented player. Fine.
No. I'm not talking about talent. Who is better at basketball?
Fine, you want to say James, but he's also like the least wantable, least desirable person on NBA rosters right now.
You're telling me there's no way you're swiping right on James on Tinder?
No.
He's just not wantable. He's the least wantable.
Well, I mean, clearly he's very desired when he walks into strip clubs, right? But like beyond that, he is not the kind of guy that a winning situation would want to rely on in any real way. And like, all right, fine. If you're like the Golden State Warriors back when they had Kevin Durant, and like you could just have James Harden, and if he disappeared for a little bit, it wouldn't matter because you were just talented enough to win without him. Fine. But because of the amount of money that James Harden is expecting to make,
they also could have won with Austin as a 17-year-old at that time. So that's fine too.
But like what I'm saying though is that like there just aren't very many, if any, winning situations where you're going to want James Harden, and there aren't any young teams whose organization should want James Harden around them, because why would you want anybody to learn from James Harden? So like if you aren't winning and you aren't developing, that's a real thin line for where James Harden is willing to do this. And if he's willing to sit out in it the entirety of a season, and if he's willing to litigate and allow himself to not, to do that, right? Fine, cool. But I do think that the NBA, is going to probably draw a line here and say, all right, James, fine, you can be on our team, but you're on the minimum, because we want to make it as easy as possible to cut you. You want to be here? Fine, James. We can give you the mini mid-level, and it's going to be super easy for us to cut you. Because this guy, just for now 3 different organizations, has quit and quit ugly. And I don't think that any team would want to rely on that guy. I can't imagine that, or they wouldn't want themselves open to that guy tanking whatever it is that they're building towards, whether they're trying to win now or whether they're trying to develop their young guys. And maybe the Clippers are willing to do that. But if you're saying that Terrence Mann, all 72 years of him, are not is now really seen as
they really liked his work at Juilliard.
I've never heard Terrence Mann talk. I hope that he has a baritone voice. But like if like it's like we've said this before, right? Where a couple, one half of a couple goes to Vegas and they're like, what happens after midnight can't be held against me. You don't actually want to be in that relationship. You just want something to come home to. Right. So if like in this case, if you aren't willing to trade Terrence Mann, if you aren't willing to trade Terrence Mann for James Harden, you don't want James Harden. It's really not that high a priority for you.
No, I agree with you. Like I said, if I were the Clippers, I'd be sticking to my guns for reasons I alluded to earlier. But again, as I said with the Heat, like if Jaime Jaquez, you're not willing to include Jaime Jaquez, that's fine. You don't get Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
So no,
and how that work out for him?
I agree, but again, I think the scenarios are different because I think Miami overplayed their hand significantly.
Yeah,
and I don't think the Clippers are for a lot of the reasons you're talking about. Because I don't think a bunch of other suitors are going to come charging in with great offers for James for a lot of the reasons you mentioned. So I think the Clippers are in a different and stronger position than Miami was.
Who would be the funniest name that a team would not be willing to trade for James Harden? Like Grayson Allen?
Just the Phoenix, just no. Just we're not doing it. No, I mean, what is like the funny, you know what the like objectively, like the two funniest, just like straight up 1-for-1 trades, the two funniest ones objectively in the NBA. Well, you know what? I'll ask you, who are the two funniest, like just for humor? Just like it's hilarious, like the hilarious irony and just like for social media, just making fun of everything for Twitter, for basketball Twitter, for Black Twitter. Just like chaos.
Stephen A's reaction to Kwame Brown being traded for Pau Gasol. Like that
was pretty funny. So I have two like that I think are just like perfect and hilarious and would just like melt the internet with hilarity. Chris Paul and Ben Simmons. Trade him back for Ben. Send him back.
Okay. I didn't
back to Brooklyn for Ben Simmons. Oh, perfection.
The funniest Jimmy Butler would be just tremendous. Like that would end Twitter. I think it would never happen, but it would be funny. But yeah, Chris Paul would be funny
because the two of them have just been moving. They played together, and the two of them have just been like traded 8 times since, and they just move around and move around and move around.
Can we get them
being traded for each other would be hilarious.
Russ and salary filler for James Harden would be
funny. But no, I like the 1-for-1. Yeah, I mean it would be funny. Like if Russ was the centerpiece of the deal. Yes, that would be funny. Although he wouldn't be because but Ben Simmons, trade him back. Just they get traded for each other again. Like we're sick of him and we're sick of him. All right, fuck it, we'll take him back.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we get you out of here and send you on your way to Palm Springs. I'm just gonna like revel in how delightful it is to have nothing whatsoever to complain about with the Lakers. It's just nice.
Yeah. I mean, I heard your conversation with Jovan.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys
nothing's
just like,
changed.
It's just like, well, never mind. Never mind. It was both of you guys were like, and Jovan especially, like in the last 4 years, he was like, I don't know, it's kind of just like straightforward and boring. They're just like kind of just like boringly good.
Yeah.
And not dramatic at all.
Yeah. I just the Lakers play tonight. I'm looking forward to it. That's relatively new.
Should be the dress rehearsal for both sides.
Hasn't been the case. Me looking forward to a Lakers game in the preseason. That hasn't been the case in like 2-3 years. This has been a nice change there.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
I think, and here's how I know that the Lakers are good. One of the ways that I know that the Lakers are good is that I'm seeing like opinion pieces about the Lakers that are like making me angry. I'm not gonna say who it was. Who wrote one that like I was reading it and like took every ounce of me not to quote tweet it snarkily.
Is this one that I responded to you on?
No, it just.
Oh, this was not the ranking, recently. The Western Conference rankings, playoff rankings one projected standings.
No, this one just dropped. I think this morning.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. Okay. No, we don't need to give it any love.
I don't have a problem with it. This writer has just been like really, really wrong a few times, and they're like lining up to do it again.
Hey, we get them all. We all get them wrong sometimes.
This one gets it a
This one's gonna be
very loud wrong a
this one's
lot.
gonna be very loud and very wrong.
Well,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
you're gonna be wrong, be loud
Like,
about it.
look, to be fair to this writer, and to be fair to anybody who has questions about the Lakers, yeah, it is kind of terrifying to rely on basically 40-year-old LeBron James. It does make me a little nervous that the Lakers only have Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes behind Anthony Davis if he goes down. If Rui Hachimura or Austin Reeves or Gabe Vincent's playoff shooting isn't real, the Lakers are really going to struggle with their spacing. But like to think, my thing is in a league that we are like about to watch this year, everybody has those kinds of questions. And so like deciding whose questions matter more than other teams' questions, that's where I run into some issues, right? When you compare various writers or various people's reactions to various teams over the years. Teams like the Clippers keep getting time and time and time and time again before the year. I think again this year, the chances for the Clippers to win a championship were higher according to the GM survey than the Lakers.
Oh, maybe not according to Vegas, but maybe according. I don't know. The GM survey was so absurd. I didn't even.
Well, that's and that's my thing is that like every year it's the same thing with the Clippers, and every year just like we're pretending we haven't seen this movie before, and yeah, I know that the Lakers are going to be good this year in part because I do feel myself getting defensive to a piece like that. And if this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I probably would have quote tweeted with some snark. But
no, you probably would have quote tweeted with some snark in the other direction. You're like, you have the Lakers 5th, yeah, 15th.
No, I mean, like if you dropped 5, 6, 7 year younger me into this spot right now,
got it.
I would have quote tweeted with some snark. But I've grown. I'm a mature man. I'm a father of 2. But I'm telling you what, right now, the Ringer.
No,
if
you're not loud
wrong
man.
about the Lakers
don't separate
again,
those things. You are not a mature man. You are a father of 2. Let's separate those things. Maybe being a father of 2 has matured you some, but you are not a mature man. Let's be honest about it. No, I feel the same way for the most part. There's a lot to like about this Lakers season. I mean, we can, as you said, I have nitpicks. I mean, some of them are not nitpicks. I think the defense may be not as good as we're used to seeing over the last few years.
Will not.
I don't know about the perimeter defense entirely. And Anthony Davis, I think there's a very credible argument for that he's the best defensive player in the world. But when he is off the floor, hopefully not much from injury or rest, hopefully just, in games when he's off the floor for 12 to 14 minutes at a time, I worry about the Lakers defense. And I worry about the perimeter defense in general, but AD will clean a bunch of that up because of how great he is all over the floor. But when AD is not on the floor, again, hopefully not through injury, hopefully just, when he's sitting out resting in games, I worry about the Lakers defense. And I'm not completely sold on the shooting yet. It's been pretty good in the preseason, and the pieces as shooters are better than they have been in the past. I'm not entirely convinced, though, that this is, like a top half of the NBA shooting team, which you need to be to win titles. And what Jovan was saying, what you guys were talking about is right. You to win in the NBA, offense is more important than defense in the NBA now, as far as winning a title. But still, the profile of title contenders, high-level contenders, and title winners is generally still in the top 7 or so, top 10, 7 obviously better, top 5 better on both sides of the ball. And there's a little leeway. Offense is more important. So, if you have a top 5 offense and you can get away with a top 12 or 13 defense or something like that. But I think the Lakers offense is going to be better than it has been in the past handful of years. And I think the defense is going to slip a little bit. But I do think, as you guys were talking about, I do think there is potential for the Lakers to be top 10 or 12 in both.
Yeah, like average out to top 10 in both, right? So top 7 and then top 12.
And it's just like it's filled with I think this. So this was the article. I mean, I'll say it because this is not the one you're referencing, but the Hollinger piece for the Athletic, where he uses whatever projection system he has and
Is he still
picks
using
records for
PER?
everybody. Let's say that again.
Is he still using PER?
No, not for this. No, that doesn't take into account.
Anything.
You know what? PR is it's not worthless, but it's not all that good.
It is now compared to
No,
what, like,
it's not
a lot of what we
worthless.
have
It's
now.
not worthless. It's just
it's worth less.
Okay. If we separate worth and less, yes. It is not worth as much as it used to be. Correct.
Yeah.
And it is not worth as much as all of the other catch-all metrics that are better. The more modern ones. But in his piece, which he put the Lakers 7th in as far as record in the West, which isn't really that meaningful because I think like 2 through 7 were separated by like 2 or 3 games. So
yeah,
which is why I always say like rankings are less important than tiers.
Yeah.
For this sort of exercise. But in his piece about the Lakers, he basically said it was a compliment. You can call it a backhanded compliment if you want, but like the Lakers have like a bunch of real rotation players, real NBA players now, which we're speaking to the competence, like the overall competence of the team, as opposed to, you know, the last few years where you looked at the roster and you went like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after that everybody else was just LOL, LOL, LOL,
yeah.
LOL.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I we'll see what this all looks like. I'm excited for tonight's, dress rehearsal, and I'm excited to get underway, and I'm excited to see a lot of these teams in actual, like, and get actual looks at them, because we've only seen glances at a very intriguing league to this point. But it is a league rife with talent, and it's a league rife with questions, right? Mm-hmm. For as incredible as Phoenix's firepower might be, I have no earthly idea how they're going to get stops against good teams in the playoffs.
I'm not sure they're gonna need to.
Might not, right? But that's just a response to a question, right?
Yeah.
And you can go through. There isn't a single team in the league that doesn't have its questions that might need or will need to be addressed over the course of the year. Even the Denver Nuggets, who are coming off of a championship and still have the best player in the world, they have their share of questions. Perimeter defense being one of them. Are the young guys ready to step into outsized roles this year? All of that, being able to, going into every game and getting every team's best shot at you because you're defending champion. Like, that is going to be something that they have to deal with all year. Some questions are more daunting than others, that's for sure. But I don't know. When I see these pieces that look at the league in its macro sense, and it more deeply considers the Lakers' questions than the other questions facing their competition, that's when I start to roll my eyes. Right. Well, that's when I start to wonder, like, all right, because look, the point of all of this is traffic. We have gone are the days where you're trying to be right. Now we are trying to be heard, and hating the Lakers or knocking the Lakers is a tried and true method, right? Because Lakers fans are going to hate read it, and the rest of the league are going to love read it, and it's going to get its attention.
Just talking about the Lakers in general.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's definitely what everybody is doing, but when you go to the same well over and over and over and over again, it's gonna register.
Well, I think we're gonna find out very quickly, right? Because this is last year the Lakers started 2-10 against a okay schedule. It wasn't like,
oh, that was when they started like that, I was like, oh god, we're in deep shit.
Right, it was okay. It wasn't the most daunting, but like I think we're gonna know something quick, because it's Suns tonight, and it's like they're gonna play their guys, and the Lakers are gonna play our guys, and for at least for 3 quarters. And then it's Nuggets, and then it's Suns again, and then it's Kings. I think it's Kings, Magic, Clippers. So like we're gonna know with like it's 6 games right off the bat. I don't know who's right after the Clippers, but it's we're going to know pretty quickly, at least not know, but have a pretty good sense early about, what this team looks like. So it's going to be fun starting tonight.
Yep. All right. I'm going to let you hit the road. Drive safe on your way out to Palm Springs. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This week, after tonight's game, I will record a live reaction to the game on this channel. So hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom. And
text me or DM me on Twitter if you're coming out to the game. We'll say what's up.
I'm
not you.
Oh.
Listeners, subscribers to the YouTube channel, and listeners to your glorious show. If you guys are coming out to Palm Springs,
I promised everybody I would tell the story. So, because somebody said that it's funny when opinion artists consider themselves celebrity, and I never have to worry about this. A, because I know I'm not a celebrity, and B, because on one of the few times that I have been recognized out in public. One of them was at a restaurant out there in my old hometown. The manager of the restaurant came up and said, "Hey, are you so-and-so?" And I go, "Yeah, I am."
Wait, what do you mean, are you so-and-so? Like, people don't know what your name is?
No, they're like, he was like, "Hey, you're Anthony Irwin, right? Locked On Lakers?" I go, "Yeah." And I go, "Yeah, I am." And the guy goes, "Oh my God, it is so nice to meet you. I listen to you every day. I'm on my way to work, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Thank you very much. I do really like meeting people. Mm-hmm. It is a very cool feeling." This happened, however, to take place in front of Jen. Jen was sitting there at the table with me while this conversation was going on.
How long was this?
This was years ago, back when I was still living at home.
No, but like how many years ago?
Or like
you and Jen are married already, yeah? This is not like you guys are like hanging out.
Oh, yeah. This would have been, this was pre-Avery. So this probably would have like 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
I was still at Locked On Lakers, which is a while ago. So the guy goes, I'm sorry. I'm kind of tripping over my words here because I'm a little nervous. Uh-huh. And Jen hadn't acknowledged this guy to this point. Like, she was just kind of laughing at what was taking place. Right. When this guy left, like,
who is this loser that is actually into my weirdo
Whenever
husband.
This guy left, she was getting ready to like ask me, how much did I pay that guy to do that, whatever. But she goes, so the guy goes, "I'm sorry, Anthony, I'm kind of nervous right now." And
I love that.
And Jen goes, she looks up from her like soup and sandwich combo and goes, "Why? He's an idiot."
The dude at Panera why is she giving the dude at Panera a hard time?
No, I think the restaurant closed down or whatever. It was I like that restaurant where we were eating at there. But we
tell Jen to leave the Panera dude alone. He's like fanboy over Anthony.
She was like, "What? He's a moron. Like, he's just
no, we're both morons. If we're all morons, none of us know what we're doing. We're all morons, but it is a very good feeling to be able to say.
So go say hi. Go say hi to Aaron. Go say hi to Aaron.
Yes,
and everybody.
Buy you a beverage.
Yeah.
Assuming they serve beverages at Exure. I don't even.
Lot of Bloody Marys. I think Exure, it's like the drink of choice throughout Palm Springs. But Bloody Marys, grapefruit juice and vodka.
What is that? Is that no? That's not a screwdriver, right? That's orange juice.
It's I don't know. What's
the van? Greyhound? That's a Greyhound. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Until later tonight, I'm Anthony Irwin. That was Aaron Larsoul, and this has been the Lakers Lounge.